Hi everyone, welcome back to Gluten Free Habit. I'm Linda, and today I'm going to show you how to make these gluten-free super stuffed chicken quesadillas. First off, I just want to thank everyone who's already subscribed. I really appreciate you guys, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you'll take a second to do that. So I named these super stuffed chicken quesadillas because they're so much more than just cheese and tortillas. These quesadillas are stuffed with so many great flavors like chilies, onions, cilantro, 5 different seasonings, and of course chicken and Monterey Jack. These are a great appetizer or game day snack, but because these are super stuffed, they're filling and you can definitely use them as a casual meal. You can find the full recipe for these on my website at GlutenFreeHabit.com, and here are the ingredients. Some boneless, skinless chicken breast, Roma tomatoes, a white onion, a red onion would work really well here too, a bunch of green onions, a bunch of cilantro, cumin, salt, black pepper, chili powder, garlic powder, some mild diced green chilies, some diced hot jalapeno, Monterey Jack cheese, and some corn tortillas, and I recommend the king size ones. It'll say so right on the front of the package. You'll also need a flat griddle. Something like this would be just fine, but you could also make these in a large frying pan. Okay, let's get a few things ready. The first thing we want to do is mix up our blend of spices and seasonings. To a small bowl, add in your cumin, garlic powder, chili powder, salt, and pepper. Now give it a good stir and set it over by your stove. Now let's do our chopping. Set out a small bowl, and then as you chop you can put everything into the same bowl. And before you get started, make sure you wash and pat dry your tomatoes, green onion, and cilantro. And everything you're chopping up you'll want to make pretty small. I'm using a white onion today, but you can definitely use a red onion if that's what you have on hand. To chop up your onion, just start by cutting the onion in half, and then just peel away the outer layer. Now make some slices towards the end of the onion, but not through the end of it. We want to keep the end intact to hold the onion together as we cut it up. Then turn the onion and make a horizontal slice. And now make vertical cuts all the way across and you'll have a perfectly diced onion. You'll see that I'm chopping much more than what I need for this recipe, so I'll just measure out my 1/4 cup and I'll save the rest for something else. Now let's chop the cilantro. And definitely use fresh cilantro for this. I know you can buy it at the store dried and that's super convenient, but it's just not going to give you the same flavor. And there's hardly anything better than the aroma and the taste of fresh cilantro. To remove the leaves from the stems, I just hold a few in my hand, and with the other hand I grasp it and gently slide my fingers down the stem. This is just a quick and simple way to remove the leaves. So with your tomatoes, just take out the seeds and chop them up real tiny. If you're making a single batch of quesadillas, I recommend that you use 2 large Roma tomatoes or 3 small. And try to select tomatoes that are nice and firm. So a single batch of these will make anywhere from 12 to 16 quesadillas, just depending on how much you like to fill them. If you like them super stuffed like I do, you'll get about 12 quesadillas. If you fill them a little bit less, you'll get about 16. And the great thing about these is they warm up perfectly. I wouldn't recommend microwave for these, it might make them too soft. I just pop mine into the toaster oven and they get a little bit crispy on the outside again, and they're fantastic. So because of that, and because I love having leftovers, I usually double the recipe. Now when you have everything chopped up, give it a good stir and go set that by your stove as well. Now, using a clean knife, chop the chicken. All I do is I just trim away the fat, and then I chop the chicken up into nugget-sized pieces for easy cooking. If you put your chicken in the freezer for about 15 minutes before you cut it up, it makes it easier because it firms it up just a little bit. Okay, when you're done with the chicken, you can set that over by your stove. And now we can prepare the chicken filling. Set out a medium-sized frying pan and pour in a drizzle of oil. And then add in your chicken. You want to cook your chicken until it's golden on the outside, fully white on the inside, no pink remaining, and until it's fully cooked, of course. And the time you cook it will just depend on how hot your stove is, so just keep an eye on it. Just stir it around every once in a while. And once it's fully cooked, just transfer it to a cutting board. And start chopping. And I like to chop it real fine so that it's easy to spread around the tortilla. With your stove set on a little less than medium heat, transfer it back into your frying pan and add in your tomato mixture, and your seasonings. Stir that up really well. Now add in your mild diced chilies, and your hot jalapeno, and give that a stir. If you're someone who likes to have a little bit more heat in your quesadilla, you can definitely add some more jalapeno. The recipe as it's written will give you just a very mild heat. Now place your chicken mixture on a back burner and keep it on low so that it stays warm, and bring out your griddle. The stove should be set to about medium or a little bit less than medium for the griddle. Okay, let's make some quesadillas. Spread around a tiny bit of butter. And lay out a few of your tortillas. Let the tortillas cook for a minute or two on one side and then flip them over. Once you flip them over, you can add cheese onto half of each of your tortillas. Now be careful when you're adding on the cheese, because if you spill the cheese onto the griddle, you're going to get burnt cheese all the way around your quesadilla. So when you're adding the cheese, if you keep it away from the edge of the tortilla, you'll be fine, because when you fold it over, the cheese will spread perfectly. Okay, after the cheese comes a layer of the chicken filling. I like to really load mine up, but that's just a personal preference. You see, I'm using a fairly small griddle, but I'm putting on 3 tortillas. It's okay if they overlap a little bit because we're going to be folding these over. If you're using a large griddle, you'll definitely get way more tortillas on than I'm doing here, and that's great too. And a larger griddle is great when you're having a get-together, you have a lot of people over. It's nice to have all of the quesadillas hot and ready to go at the same time. And now finish them off with another layer of cheese. Now with your spatula, just carefully fold over the tortillas like tacos. So today I'm using corn tortillas. I think they work perfectly and I love the flavor. And in the stores they also have available the gluten-free flour type tortillas, but they're fairly expensive. The ones in my store come out to be about $1 a tortilla. So the corn tortillas are a great way to go. They taste fantastic and they're a way better value. Now let them cook on the one side for a few minutes until they become lightly golden on the bottom. And then again, using your spatula, just flip it to the other side and cook for a few more minutes there. If any of the filling is falling out, you can just gently tap it back in with your spatula. Now when your quesadillas are done cooking, just transfer them over to a cutting board, let them sit for a couple of minutes, and then with a sharp knife, just cut them each in half. Yum, take a look at this. These quesadillas are so delicious we never get tired of them. Now just transfer them over to a serving platter, and you can serve these with sour cream or guacamole or salsa, or how about all three? And there you go, gluten-free super stuffed chicken quesadillas. And as always, I love hearing from you guys, so do me a favor and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the recipe or just say hi. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you'll do that now so that you don't miss any of the new recipes. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time on Gluten Free Habit.